In the name of Haji, the Divine Father, Jana, the Divine Mother, and all of us united as genies, the Netaru, the Orisha, the Elohim, the Anunnaki of this planet Earth, I am Pharaoh Shazmu Heka Kepera, the sovereign ruler of the Nubiansufi Empire, gods and goddesses, the UTBA, the United Theocracy of Black America, as well as the entire Black planet Earth, as well as the entire Black planet Mars. To one and all, I say Heka Hotep. I want to manifest some things, what's going on with myself and the direction in which I am moving. In the direction that I am moving, is that I have seen in the city in which I have been born, city of, what the scripture called Nazareth, I say St. Louis, is that I've seen that a lot of us can say we from the show me state, but no one has really ever showed me anything but the ego. So everybody can say this and say that, but when it comes to really showing forth that which is really needed to show forth, I haven't seen anybody show forth anything but ego, selfishness, self-centeredness. So, I can put out a list full of individuals from the highest ranking of government to the lowest person on the lowest hustler on the totem pole, and all I have seen was words, but not actions. I had decided to go ahead and do the last scenes of the Black Godfather St. Louis movie here in St. Louis. And I have people that, I've known over the decades and that I want to work with. And, then I have those who I'm decided that some people just got to keep out of that industry. So we're going to get the next scenes of the movie out the way. I'm going to have professional actors and those who went to school for trade. And it's not going to be based on that they my friends or I know them. It's just going to be based on that they're professionally trained and this is what they want. Because what you don't want to do is waste your time with people when you got an opportunity like filming or you got an opportunity like music. And first, it's a hobby to them. Another thing, they don't trust you. So I don't want to work with anybody that's not going to trust me. And that can even be some singers. So I see some talented singers and I say, look, let me go put you in the studio. Let me put this thing out, this video out. Let's do this, let's do that. And if that singer, whether it's male singer, female singer, don't trust me, I don't want to work with that person. I don't want to work with anybody in film or in music who don't trust Esau Shakur. If you don't trust me, go work with somebody else. Because, see, when we demonstrated what we're demonstrating and we're saying we're in a conscious community and we're putting out consciousness that's going to wake people up, we got to be able to trust each other that we're putting out the right frequencies together, right? So I'm going to be rebooting and restructuring everything. And just because you had a few rotten apples, I'm not going to basically dismantle the whole movement because of a few spoiled apples. So we're going to finish out the production of the Black Godfather of St. Louis, the St. Louis scenes in St. Louis. It's going to be, I'm going to put it out through the St. Louis auditions. I'm going to put it out through certain avenues. And because what I'm going to end up doing is have the queen scream, because she's right on certain people. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to let her do the screening of certain mentalities of individuals. So we won't get no, and I'm going to have my crystal ball on deck. So a person can say this, that, and the other. And I've been putting my, I used to have a crystal ball, and I used to look at my crystal ball, and I could see like a good 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years into the future. But because I wanted to basically taste the heart of a person, taste the, the virtue or whatever, I don't want to taste nothing because I may end up tasting some sour grapes. So I'm going to also be realistic in my crystal ball, you know what I'm saying, which is my ability to see days, weeks, months, even years into the future. So when a person say they want to be an actor, I'm going to look and see, are they going to try to snake me in the end? Or they say they want to be a film person. I'm gonna test them with my crystal ball. See, they're going to try to snake, or an artist, or a business associate, or a friend that said they want to be a business associate. Everybody is going to be put on the scales of Mayat. And if anybody know about Mayat it don't just mean righteousness, truth, and reciprocity. But in the word Mayat is M-A-A, which means to see. So I'm going to be doing a psychic background check on everybody that come into Nubian Center Records, that come into Nubian Alchemy Films, and that comes into the Nubian Sufi Empire Gods and Goddesses. I'm going to be doing a psychic background check. So whatever you're hiding won't leap out and knock over my cards. You know what I'm saying? So going back, we're going to set up a whole new thing. And in this, the ministry comes first. So a lot of times I've been talking about the movie and I've been talking about the film, and then y'all hear me talking about the ministry later. The ministry is going to come first. So everything starts with the ministry. Everything starting with the Nubian Sufi Empire, gods and goddesses. Everything starting from heaven down to earth. So if you're an actor, rapper, singer, even a business colleague, and your frequencies are out of frequency with the Nubian Sufi Empire, gods and goddesses, then we can't work with you. If you're out of frequencies with Amun-Ra, we can't work with you. You understand? Sorry. So, I had basically, discontinued the radio show for a quick second. I discontinued it. Y'all wonder why I ain't been on the radio Saturday. I just went ahead because, and this is not to punish anybody else. This is not to punish those who actually feel love and who have put money behind it continuing on. But I had to do a reboot, y'all. I had to do a reboot of everything. And, when I was just learning Sufism in 1998, and I didn't understand that Sufism transcended Orthodox Islam. It transcended any other religions. But because I was just learning, I said, let me go make Salat, because this one book on Sufism mentions Salat. So as I was going to go make Salat with some brothers in a masjid, and some of them really did not like Sufism. But I realized as a Sufi, I had to build up a tolerance for those who don't like what I like. And look at whatever the religion is of the day, there's a symbolic lesson that I can learn. So when we got ready to make Salat, and I was a young Sufi at the time, the brother said something that made sense to my mind. And in the Salat, you have to be shoulder to shoulder with a person. Say, be shoulder to shoulder with a person. When you're standing to make your Salat, you make shoulder to shoulder. And the Imam said the reason why you ought to be shoulder to shoulder with the person, it is so Shaitan cannot creep into the ranks. All right? If you're not shoulder to shoulder with your brother, If you right here and your brother is spaced away over here, then Shaitan can creep into the mix and fake as your brother. Yeah, he could perpetrate the fraud as your brother. Because the ranks was not tight. You understand? You got to tighten the ranks. Even, we dealing with brothers in the street mix, that's in the street gangs, in the street hustles, selling the street drugs and all that. And somebody say, man, I know Smokey Joe, man. Oh, you know Smokey Joe? Yeah, man. We did time together, me and Smokey Joe. All right, man. Hey, I want to get down with y'all. He told me to come holler at y'all. And they let this dude in just because he said he knows Smokey Joe. They let him into the gang with him. They let him into the gang with him, the mob gang, with whatever it is. They let him into the ranks. They didn't even check his profile. They didn't even go check where he went to school at. They didn't even go check and see if he got kinfolk in the area. They just took his word. And next thing you know, 3 weeks later, the whole crew getting busted, getting raided. SWAT coming in. What the heck happened? They let Shaitan in the ranks. So even on a righteous level, when we dealing with how a lot of the black organizations came tumbling down. It was even in the Moore Science Temple, going all the way back to the times of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The way that the beast was able to ruin and put an end to Marcus Mosiah Garvey's Black Star Liner, the movement that he had started with his bare hands and getting black people of the time to want to go back to Africa. He said, where's the black man's government? That's what he said. Where's the black man's army? Where's the black man's God? This is Marcus Mosiah Garvey. But see, J. Edgar Hoover at the time, he was a young beast. Yeah, I said J. Edgar Hoover, who was basically the head founder of the FBI. He was a young beast at the time. He was a young Shaitan. And he said, I got to stop these black movements whenever they pop up. And you can count J. Edgar Hoover from the time of Marcus Garvey all the way down to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Black Panther Party. And Martin Luther King. This was a beast that was decade after decade trying to put it into black organizations. But he had help. He had the help of your jealousy. Yes, he had the help of your envy, Black America. He was using all your Isfat qualities. Isfat is the opposite of Mayat. So he had the help of your Isfat qualities of jealousy, bitterness, spite, hostility. He was able to put that into his gun and aim it at black leaders with your own hand. With your own hand. This is what Ice Cube said in his one song, Big Black Boots. He said, most leaders die by a black man's bullet. Give a trigger to a nigga and watch he pull it. So as we see that Marcus Mosiah Garvey, his homeboy was not his homeboy. His homeboy was working with J. Edgar Hoover. He was working as an FBI agent for J. Edgar Hoover. And J. Edgar Hoover had him watch over everything that Marcus Garvey was doing. Watch over his paperwork. Watch over who he brought in. He was a spy. And so this spy found a discrepancy that J. Edgar Hoover was able to use to bring in the law enforcement to basically charge Marcus Mosiah Garvey with mail fraud. And he got deported out of the United States of America back to Jamaica, where he died of heartbreak. And his movement started to deteriorate. And this is how the beast always comes after a black messiah. They discredit the leader, and then the movement deteriorates because that charismatic charismatic leader is no longer on deck to energize and electrify the sleeping masses of the people. We saw the same pattern happen with the Prophet Noble Ali. The same pattern happened where the seeds of jealousy and discard start to emerge among certain individuals. And these individuals, one more told me this, and I was amazed to hear this. One more told me that there was some brothers chasing the prophet around, daggone, chasing him with a knife. We fast forward to the time of the Minister Malcolm X. In that situation, with the jealousy that did emerge, because you did have brothers that was in the Nation of Islam that was jealous of Malcolm X at the time, but they was also jealous of another brother. It was other brothers, jealousy amongst. We was jealous of each other as leaders waking up our people. The beast said they jealous of themselves. Let's see if we can slide an agent in there. Let's see if we can slide a Judas in there. And the same thing happened. Now we find out decades later that the individuals that they incarcerated for the assassination of Minister Malcolm X were not even the ones who did it. And it was basically the FBI was working with the New York City police to orchestrate that assassination. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't see some individuals that was in those ranks and say, look, you got a lot of jail time. We can erase all this jail time and let you be on the streets, be with your family and whatnot. If you go about this situation, get rid of this guy. I'm not saying that didn't come about. Then we see the movie that came out, and as I told you, my name was the Black Messiah before that movie came out. I was called the Black Messiah back in 95, 94, but not between 94 and 95. But in the movie Judas, the Black Messiah, we see the same pattern. How this individual, how the U.S. government at the time was putting agents in the Black Panther Party, in the original Black Panther Party, and how one agent got so close up to Minister Fred Hampton Sr. that his being a agent provocateur led to the demise of the ancestor, Minister Fred Hampton Sr. And I met his son twice. I met Fred Hampton Jr. twice. One time when it was just now reforming the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party here in St. Louis, and he was invited as a guest speaker. I met him, and he was in St. Louis. At the time was a brother named Emil, was my good friend Emil. He was killed in Louisville. And then you had Matulu, who I ended up meeting him, and then Sister Mira, and they was all just now in the formation of the new Black Panther Party in St. Louis. This had to be around 2007. And I only stepped up because I was a Black Panther from the 90s. Then I end up meeting Fred Hampton Jr. when I was on my way to first go out to California in 2007. I was in Chicago and I was with God Knowledge, and we bumped right into Fred Hampton Jr. in Chicago, like twice. This is the second time coming and shook his hand and told him I would build with him. And then after that, I went out to California. But even he knows that the person who was responsible for the assassination of his father was an agent with skin that looked just like ours. We go into this theme of the Judas Principle. So since we already know what happened in the book, and we know that the Judas Principle was there, the one who will sell out the Messiah for this, we do not have to let that repeat itself in our organizations. And whether they know they're an instrument of the beast or they don't know they're an instrument of the beast, we don't have to let that repeat itself in our organizations. So as we move forward, the Nubiansufi empire of gods and goddesses, I am officially having it where the empire, when you're doing business with Esau Shakur, you are doing business with an empire. So it's not you're going to snake me and it's over with. You got an empire of millions of brothers and sisters around the world and back that you are snaking. See, the beast is happy when there's one charismatic leader that they can say, let's go ahead and slander him. Let's say he robbed something. Let's say that he raped or touched something, Bill Cosby. Let's say that he killed somebody. Let's say he's on cocaine. Let's say we think that he's involved in homosexual practices. Let's put all type of slanders because we own the radio stations. We own the television networks. He can say he didn't, but we're going to put millions on us saying he did. You're dealing with the beast. So in these days and times, family, we have to do what? Tighten up the ranks. We have to tighten up the ranks. So when you see the Nubiansufi men, you're going to see that our ranks are tight. Because when I see another Nubiansufi brother, I see Allah. I don't see that nigga. I don't know that brother. I see Allah. I see God. You see these Nubiansufi women. I see a Nubiansufi woman. I see a lot. I see the goddess. Now, I don't know who she is. You're going to see supreme unity. Because see, in our empire, we move as the Most High, not looking at something in the sky. This is why in the Holy Quran it says, everywhere you turn is the face of Allah. So that's all we see is the face of God. So when you're doing business with me, you're doing business with an empire, seen and unseen. You're doing business with an empire that is both Amen, hidden, and both Ra, seen. You're doing business with an empire. And so the beast, to his dismay, he could say, oh, let's shut up him. But see, I'm not the only leader. We are all leaders in the Nubiansufi empire of gods and goddesses. Now, if I let my ego get in the way and say, I am Pharaoh Shazmu, also known as Pharaoh Khonsu, just look at me, then the leader can come and get me, and the movement goes down the drain like the Marcus Garvey movement. But I say that all these Nubian Sufi men are pharaohs too, once they earn that position of being pharaohs. All Nubian Sufi men are masters, and then they earn a position to be pharaohs. So it's not just no one pharaoh. You won't just see me walking around with a mirror to my face. Hey, I'm pharaoh, I'm pharaoh, I'm pharaoh, I'm pharaoh. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And then I move against the other man. Move against him building his kingdom. Because I'm believing that him building his kingdom is going to make my kingdom look smaller to other people. That's the ego. See, the beast will be able to go after that type of person and move him out the way. And that's how everything falls down, because everything was just based on that one person. But I say, I'm Pharaoh. He's Pharaoh. We all are pharaohs. The beast don't know what to do with that. The beast don't know what to do with that, because he's saying that this black man is a pharaoh in this organization. This black man is a pharaoh in this same organization. It's an organization full of black men who are pharaohs. That means a pharaoh has an empire to himself. And with the empire, an army to himself. And resources and treasure to himself. So we, the Nubian Sufi Empire gods and goddesses, are rising up where our black men are ruling as pharaohs. The beast ain't gonna know what to do with that, because see, the COINTEL, we're gonna dip into the COINTEL, the message of the COINTEL Pro, or the COINTEL Pro. This for y'all that don't know about the COINTEL Pro. Let me go ahead and dip into that real fast, because that's not what I'm really. That's not the actual factual part of my sermon today. But like Kevin Hart said, I'm going to learn y'all. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. And I'm also going to let y'all know, if there's any fake pharaohs, we're going to shut down all the fake pharaohs. We shut down all the fake pharaohs, because basically a true pharaoh is one who does what? Enforce Maya in the land. Maya is unity. Maya is harmony. So if you're a fake pharaoh, you're getting shut down. So we're going to go ahead and go into the COINTEL Pro statement. I'll see if I got it on me about the COINTEL Pro. See if we get it. Because this is very, 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 very important. All right. This is of J. Edgar Hoover's COINTEL Pro. Notice there was no Bloods, no Crips, none of that, no heroin, no pimp stuff, none of that stuff before this protocol came out. The FBI sets goals for the COINTEL Pro. Goals for maximum effectiveness of the counterintelligence program and to prevent wasted effort. Long-range goals are being set. Prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups. A unity their strength, a truism that is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective coalition of black nationalist groups might be the step toward a real Mau black revolutionary army in America, the beginning of a true black revolution. Prevent the rise of a messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm X might have been such a messiah. He is the mater of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad all aspire to this position. And they go a little bit into criticizing Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his age and whatnot. But as you see, when it said this, Malcolm X was still alive. Look, it said Malcolm X might have been such a messiah. He is the mater of the movement today. The mater. Oh, he was a mater. Okay, this is right after he passed. I can go look up a little further. But as you see, diabolical plans to stop the rise of a black messiah. And the thing about the black nationalist movement is never was about guns and taking up guns and stuff like that, or tanks. It was all based on electrifying the people's consciousness to get the people to start thinking. So as you can see, in our movement, yes, I am the black messiah, but every Nubian Sufi man is a black messiah. So if you have Nubian Sufi men raising up throughout the United States of America and throughout the world, you have a world full of black messiahs. What could the beast do with that? What could the beast do if there is a whole planet of black messiahs? But if I let my ego go before my feet and say I am the only black messiah, then I have doomed the movement, because the beast can say, get him out the way. But the beast will say it would be in vain to try to get him out the way, because all of the brothers in his organization are black messiahs too. And his brothers extend beyond the borders of this land. That is what time it is, family. But it's always got to be somebody as the quarterback. And the way I'm speaking is the way I was speaking in regards to the music that I was implementing, to be the kickoff of revolutionary conscious music. And right after me, here comes another brother, here comes another sister, here comes another brother, here comes another sister with some consciousness on wax. But the ego will always cause a miscarriage of true black liberation, because the beast used the pride, he used the ego, he used the self-centeredness of one to throw off the many. So in the Nubian Sufi empire of gods and goddesses, we are many who are one, because we say that God is one that is many. Y'all still there? It's a nice day out there. What the Nubian Sufi empire gods and goddesses are going to be doing, we're going to be going, like I had spoke about, we're going to be going out talking to the ministers on taking the death symbol down off of the church and put the life the symbol of life up on the church instead. I am a carpenter. I know carpenters. We can make these unks at a good price. You got people making money off the death cross. How about bless people to make money off of the cross that's going to give you life, and life more abundantly for real. And see if all of the murders and deaths that go on that you see on the television news, if it starts to decrease in your community. If all of the murders and killings that you hear on the south side, the north side, and Jennings here in St. Louis, if you see it start decreasing because you have taken down pastor, reverend, minister, you took it down the death symbol for the life symbol, then take it to the next step and come to the Nubian Sufi empire of gods and goddesses, or your local brothers and sisters that do KEMETIC art and jewelry. And we get the unks and give everybody unks. See, if we keep looking up in the sky for white Jesus, another brother's gonna die. More we look in the sky for someone to save us, somebody on earth is gonna slay us. We need to look at each other. We need to look at the God within each other. And we need the unks so we can give life to that sleeping God. Give life to that sleeping goddess. Not the death cross. And we're also going to be getting out literature. We're also going to be passing out literature. I was thinking about it for the last few days. We're going to be giving out Sufi literature, you know, so people can get literature on what the Sufi teachings that we teach. If you Google Sufism right now, you're going to see it's going to say Islamic mysticism. We don't teach Islamic mysticism. But that's what European scholars always try to equate Sufism is. Sufism is really Gnosticism, or the Nabateanism or Sabianism, the science of Heka, alchemy. You want to get deeper, the teachings of Atlantis. You want to get deeper, the teachings that came from the stars. You really can't put a label on it. But in all sense, it's the path of masters. So we're going to be passing out literatures on Nubiansufi. We're going to be engaging with the community. We're going to be talking with the people in the community. We're going to be letting the people know not only do we have spiritual, or not spiritual, not only do we have material services like we do film, we do music, we're dealing with cryptocurrency to get people shifted from this crumbling dollar, which is nothing but shackles, get them into cryptocurrency, teaching them that stuff like this. Like, look, we got this man right here. Look, doing all the work for me. Look, just made some Bitcoin for me. Doing all the work. This is what we're supposed to do, not the other way around. Cause look, they talking about shutting everything down. They talking about shutting the country down again. Doc Fossey trying to force people to take the mark of the beast, which we're gonna get into. This is what the people need to be getting on. Look, he's working for me, not me doing. This is what they want the black man to continue to do, but instead, this is what we got the white man doing. White man in the computer doing this for us. Just made me another Bitcoin. Because I got to the point, you know what? I'm asking people to help out what I'm doing, make donations. Nobody want to donate to a black man. Nobody want to donate to the black man's movement. But they talk about on TV the polar bears dying. They for to send $100 to some polar bear. They had some say there was a white Russian Jew, over 100 years old, because somebody sent her some money. She's suffering from the Holocaust. Come on. Israel should have been taking care of that. You know how long World War II was over? She ain't get no help by then. I'm out there singing, dancing, because I love to sing. I love to sing. Selling tickets. See brother coming out looking like he got jewelried up. Hey brother, you can buy a ticket. I'm good. You good on buying a ticket from me, from a black man, but you finna go in that restaurant and buy a $50 plate just to show off for this woman. A $50 plate to a business is not a black business. But you good. I'm not good. How are you good and I'm not good? I had individuals said they could sell all their own stuff. They could sell their jewelry. They could sell their necklaces. And they could talk black power. But I say, brothers, can you help me sell these tickets so we can have this players ball? Can you help me sell this ticket so we can have these players ball? And guess what? You get $10 off the ticket. Guess what? You get to set up a table and sell your stuff there. Guess what? you get to have some money at the end where we're going to collect all the money. But because of self-centeredness, no, okay, I see them tickets, but I want to sell my stuff more. I want to only be focused on selling my stuff as a black business. The hell with you as a black business. Self-centeredness. But then the beast shut his stuff down, and my stuff is rocking and rolling, and I got thousands of dollars flowing in. I open up some buildings. I saw open up buildings up and down St. Louis. Can I sell some of my jewelry out your shop? Hell to the no. A true businessman understands in order to make a withdrawal, you got to make a deposit. So we're in those times, family, that we got to tighten up the ranks. You can't have people that's not going to be rolling with you in your ranks. You may have an agent provocateur. Now, with the radio show, I like the radio show, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna basically prepare for the radio show to be broadcasting on the West Coast real soon. Yes. So we're going through a Kepera right now. We're going through a transformation. Everything is being transformed. You can't be a revolutionary if you do not transform. So we're going to reignite the radio show. And we're going to do a lot more. But first thing first. Because a lot of people don't realize what's going down. They think they know. They think they know, but they know not. So the heat of this sermon is called the Solarbook of the Apocalypse. The day when the sheep become lions and the Most High shuts the beast, his virus, his media, and world down. So I'm going to repeat that again. This Sunday sermon is called the Solar Book of the Apocalypse. The Solar Book of the Apocalypse. The day when the sheep become lions and the Most High shut the beast, his virus, his media, and world down. Let the church say Amen Ra. Now, I want to read something that's going to take us into the mix. It's going to take us where we need to go. It's going to take us where we need to go in this deal. So I hope you're ready. Hope you're ready, Freddie, and smooth as Teddy. Because it's going down. Book of Revelation. Chapter 13, verse 17. Now, I want y'all to remember what Joe Biden said. Me and the wifey was watching. Remember what Joe Biden said on national television. The president of these United States said this to his citizens. to the citizens that he had charge over that all you federal workers, all you post office people, all you people that's working these federal places, he said, if you do not get the vaccine, the COVID vaccine is experimental vaccine that has not been approved by the FDA. This experimental vaccine of both Pfizer and Moderna that has over 1,000 known reports of people up from the age of 12 years old to 24 getting heart disease, a permanent condition. In earlier cases, blood clots. Also, vaccines from companies that are not even American companies. Vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer, these companies come from Europe. They come from Europe. That American citizens are being told they're forced to take medicine coming from Europe. And if you don't take the vaccines, you're not going to have a job working for the federal government. So the whole theme of the Constitution has been stripped from the American people. The First Amendment is your freedom, not of just religion, not of just the freedom of press or the freedom to speak, but your First Amendment is also your freedom to protest your government if you are not in agreement with what they're pushing. So if the people are not in agreement with the vaccine because of certain issues, that is their constitutional right to reject it. But your freedom of choice has been stepped on. So he says that you cannot pay your rent, you can't pay your bills, you can't put food on the plate of your family, you can't buy your wife that mink coat if you don't take that vaccine. Or you saying that if these federal workers don't take the vaccine, Mr. President, that you're going to be responsible for them being homeless? Or you're going to be responsible for the crime rate going up because people got to find a way to get money? And you talking to people who have access and knowledge of everything in the government? You talking to federal workers? You scratch your head on that. Then he also suggested that those who serve the military, those who serve the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, are servicemen, or to be forced. It's already enough that they're already risking their lives when they go overseas to Iraq, to Iran, to Afghanistan, to South America, these other countries in Southeast Asia. It's already enough that they got to risk their lives to go over the seas. But you want to put in a experimental vaccine into the people? So this what Joe Biden did. He done been forcing two things on the American people. He's been forcing transgenderism and vaccinism. These are the two things, and both of them are meant to subatomically and genetically disconfigure people. To disconfigure the people. So now you're saying that I want to go into the Army. Like my pops was in the army. But in order for me to go into the army, I got to take a vaccine. Or I can't go into the army. Or if I want to stay in the army, I got to take a vaccine. It's already bad enough that the soldiers going all the way back to the Vietnam War, most of them did not get compensated when the government decided to powder down Agent Orange over those Vietnam villages and them Cambodian villages. And some U.S. Army soldiers that was on the ground got sick of the Agent Orange. And now some of you businesses that are not even tied with the federal government are taking it upon yourself to be puppets of what Joe Biden is saying. Now you're telling your employees they got to take a experimental vaccine. But are you telling your vaccines, you restaurants out there that's beginning to start doing it? You schools and colleges that's out there getting ready to start doing it? Or you telling them that you're going to compensate the American people if anybody gets sick? If any of your employees get sick or die from taking a vaccine, or any of you local restaurants and schools and businesses and whatever, are you going to financially compensate your employee if they die of taking that experimental vaccine? I'm going to go into the book of Revelation. By the miracles it was allowed to perform in the presence of the beast, it deluded the inhabitants of the earth and made them erect an image in honor of the beast that had been wounded by the sword and yet lived. It was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast so that it could speak and could cause all who would not worship the image to be put to death. The image of the beast. Now I heard the same individual say that if we don't take the vaccine, we're going to die. But what I'm saying is that to the American people, we are being purposely made sick. There's like we don't teach there's a spook God. There's no God sitting in the clouds, making decisions, squeezing the clouds and making it rain. We say that God is a man, man is God. We say that the people are collectively God in a sleeping state. There's no mystery virus. There's no virus just floating from continent to continent on its own. Like, these are some wicked, diabolical, demonic, satanic, devilish scientists who are poisoning the peoples of the planet Earth with machinery, with nanotechnology that are basically nanotechnology, smart dust, and they're Agent Orange and this stuff into the atmosphere, into the populations. And they make them detectable by different broadcast systems and databases, so the different people, they can see, okay, the nanos are here, the nanos here, and let's go up, write a check to the media, tell them to put out that there's high concentrations of COVID infections in this area, especially in the black area. So people who don't got the COVID are being told they got to take a COVID vaccine. But you don't tell people who got cancer, you don't tell people who do not have cancer. You do not tell people who do not have cancer to take cancer medicine. You do not tell people who don't got HIV to take HIV medicine. You don't tell people who got the Parkinson disease to take Parkinson disease medicine. And you don't tell a person who don't got a headache to take a headache pill, to take an aspirin. The people who did what you told them to do, Joe Biden, Dr. Fauci, because now y'all on the same, now y'all brothers with Bill Gates. People went out and got tested and came up with nothing. Leave them alone. If the people went out and got tested and they came back negative, why you messing with them? We was told everybody supposed to get tested and they good. And if you got this COVID virus, you need the vaccine. But now you're saying the people who don't got the COVID, they're vaccine hesitant for not wanting to take something that they're not sick from. Instead of saying it's every American's constitutional right to say yes or no. So the media need to get politically correct and start saying vaccine choice, not vaccine hesitancy. Because you won't say AIDS vaccine hesitancy to people who don't got the AIDS. You don't even say that to a person who's got a common cold. You're going to take that cold pill. We know you got a cold. No, I ain't going to take it. Okay, that's your choice. But you don't go on the media and say, you're going to take that cold pill? I know you got a cold. Or you cold medicine hesitancy. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to corner everybody. They're trying to corner everybody. Why are you trying to corner everybody for? Book of Revelation. Moreover, it calls everyone, great and small, rich and poor, slave and free, to be branded with a mark on his right hand or forehead. And no one was allowed to buy or sell unless he bore this beast's mark. So if you're saying for this to trickle down from the U.S. government to local governments into the business sector, that in order for me to go to the store, me, a man of God, to go to the store, me, a scientist, to go to the store, me who knows your demonic and diabolical plots of eugenics, Bill Gates, and me who know about the 2,000 emails that got leaked that proved that Dr. Fauci helped fund the coronavirus and caused the breakout by the behest of Bill Gates. Me who know all these things, and that two things for this coronavirus. One was to finally annihilate the black peoples of the planet Earth, to genetically annihilate us through eugenics, just like they annihilated the black Tasmanian people. And how damn near all the Native Americans, except for only a few, are still existing, got wiped out through the polio or the smallpox. But also that I know that the outbreak was also so they can create this new matrix, so they can actually create the matrix where they're scooping up the DNAs of people and start doing the cloning process. Also to put their signatures in the people, so it could be a sort of a body shield to throw off the Anunnaki ships, because the Anunnaki ships are coming to shut down the Babylon, and they seeing all these signatures in the populations of the peoples that's got vaccinated on the planet Earth. But in order for me to go get some bread out the corner store, I got to go get a vaccine to go get some bread. Then that means that I'm going to have to go open up my own damn store. That's what time it is, family. We ain't got time for no individualism. We don't got time for ego. This man got an idea. It's going to make us all rich. I'm rolling with this brother. The hell with my ego. The hell with who I think I am. I'm a pharaoh. He a pharaoh too. When they start to shut down things and saying you can't get bread and butter, where you and your ego going to go get some bread and butter from? You can't go to your brother because you snaked him and he's got a grocery store. We don't think. You can't go to your sister because you just snaked her. She owns houses. You don't think. This is a time when they say that we're getting ready to shut stuff down. You can go ahead and shut down because you Babylon, the scripture said you're going to shut down. The thing about how the scripture talks, it said Babylon is going to shut down and it ain't going to never come back up. So they thinking that they're going to punish you, but they only going to punish themselves. So Dr. Fauci gets on the thing and said, oh, look like we might have to shut it down again. But guess what? When you shut it down, it ain't going to be no coming back up. There's not going to be no coming back up. Because the Most High is tired of this madness. But the only ones that's going to be still rocking and rolling is entrepreneur gods like me and only a few others. Go ahead and shut down your stuff. While they shut down, he gonna be still working. He gonna be still making me some money while you shutting down. Well, you saw they may cut the electricity company off. That's all right. I'm gonna have me some solar panels. This is what time it is. We're in this page of the book of Revelation. We're in this page right here. This is where we at right here. This is where we at, family. I'm going to read it again for those who ain't see what I'm saying. Moreover, it caused everyone, great and small, rich and poor, slave and free, to be branded with the mark on his right hand or forehead, and no one was allowed to buy or sell unless he bore this beast mark, neither name or number. In this caption it says, here's the key. Anyone who has any intelligence may work out the number of the beast. The number represents a man's name, and the numerical value of its letters is 666. Now, I remember back in the 80s, my step auntie Bridget, she was saying Ronald Reagan was basically the beast because his name, he had basically three syllables, in his name that equals up to 666. But it lets you know that it says that the number of the beast is a man. So a lot of these reverends, a lot of you reverends who I'm going to have to come to, I'm trying not to get too hard on you reverends' heads, because I want y'all to start adopting the Ankh. But you reverends who don't want to adopt the Ankh, All you pastor pick a pig feast and chicken deacon Doolittle, chicken Deacon Doolittle, and all you Negro preachers who, if I told you to take that white Jesus down, put the black one up, and you were still gonna keep it up there, the white Jesus up there, and telling our people a Holy Ghost. You mean a holy breath? Some of you pastors, some of you ministers did a disservice to your people. You have done a disservice to your congregation because some of you went on television and said, I'm going to work with the Department of Defense. You just said you're going to go work with Caesar's army. You said you're going to work with the Department of Defense to make sure that your congregation got vaccinated. All the vaccinated DNA is going to the Department of Defense. All the vaccinated DNA is going to the Pentagon. So when you see the movie about the Matrix, that's what's going on. Those pods, that's what they're trying to create, where they can grow people. Grow people that they can control. And poison off the rest of the people to kick off a zombie apocalypse. That's in the CDC. But see, you don't say none of that to your congregation. You're afraid they might shut your church down. And then you see people wasn't coming to the church last year, so you made a deal with the devil. They said they're going to cut each church $3 or $4 million to help them get the kick off the vaccine program. And that's more money than your congregation can get to you in 1 year. In a lifetime, probably. So you sold your congregation out when you said, we're going to be the churches, we're going to hold vaccinations in our church. Just for Caesar's money. When you could have got your own money the righteous way like this. Told Caesar, we good. We finna get everybody on this crypto program. We good. As for medicine, we're going to go deal with medicine coming from Africa. But you have sold out the people. You're like the Pharisees who sold out Yahshua because you letting the beast put your congregation on the cross just so you could be fat. Putting all those future doctors or future lawyers or future senators that are in your church on the cross. On the cross of eugenics. Now they putting out some hoopla online. Black man mocked the COVID. They put on the Mogul Nation. Black man mocked the black man mocked the vaccine. A black LA man mocked the vaccine, dies. Or they put on the news, they had some black sister said, my son, he didn't believe in the vaccine. He died because he didn't believe in the vaccine. No, your son died because they're Agent Oranging the atmosphere. This is a military attack on the American people. This is a militarized vaccine, and it's a militarized virus. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. This is a militarized virus from the beginning. Militarized. So it says that the mark is of a man. The number is the number of a man, not the number of a ghost preacher, reverend. The beast ain't hiding in the closet as the boogeyman. Ooh, ooh. It ain't no werewolf like on a horror movie. It ain't Wolfman Jack. The number of the beast according to your Bible that you're supposed to be talking to your congregation about. But you got them in misty realm. You got them thinking of a misty devil, a devil in the ground, a misty beast. Everything is ghostly and misty, mystified. This is why when the devil in a three-piece suit walk up to you with that briefcase full of money and tell you to get your congregation vaccinated, you didn't see that that was the beast giving you that briefcase full of money. You didn't see that that was a Satan, a shaitan giving you the briefcase full of money. And some of you sell out entertainers. You sell out entertainers like John Legend. You don't even got an original woman as your wife. You don't even got a Nubian woman as your wife. Why should we listen to you anyway? Then you got who I thought was going to do the right thing. I thought you was going to do the right thing, Brother Spike Lee. I thought you was going to do the right thing, but you talking about vaccine my block. Let's vaccine the block. You supposed to be overconscious. You supposed you built with the gods. You can let the beast come in and do a Tuskegee experiment on Brooklyn? You gonna tell them they can go ahead and Tuskegee experiment Brooklyn? That's your block, Brooklyn. That's your area. That's your what? That's your borough. How you gonna say it's okay for the beast to come and Tuskegee experiment Brooklyn? You ain't doing the right thing. Tyler Perry. Gail King says she ain't gonna let no kinfolk in her house unless they've been vaccinated. Why have not the Christian world stepped up throughout the country and around the planet to say, hey, our book says that is the mark of the beast? Why is it more Christians taking the mark of the beast than non-Christians? The majority of people taking this mark of the beast is the same people that's supposed to be telling people that's the mark of the beast. Why is the Nubiansufi telling everybody that's the mark of the beast? Why is Minister Louis Farrakhan, a Muslim, black Muslim, telling everybody that's the mark of the beast? Why ain't T.D. Jakes stepping up with his multi-million dollar, billion-dollar church and saying, congregation, that's the mark of the beast? Why ain't Cash Flow, what his name, Crash Flow, or Dollar, Pennies, or whatever his name is? Why ain't he with his $64 million jet buying saying that's the mark of the beast? Why ain't none of these Christian ministers telling everybody that the damn vaccines is the mark of the beast? Because they are the modern day Pharisees that are concerned with stuffing their pouches full of gold and silver from Caesar's treasury. So for those who partake in the blood money of the beast, they're going to go out with the beast too. You're going to go out with the beast. That's why the real Yahshua said this: woe to those who lead my sheep astray, and also for those who harm the children and little children. Because now you're talking about putting this disfigurating, genetically disfigurating poison in the baby's arms. So Yahshua, the real Yahshua, said those who harm the babies, they need to go, they just might as well just go ahead and just put a rope around their neck, a chain around their neck, and just cast it into the sea. So the number represents a man's name, and the numerical value of its letters is 666. So we already know that Bill Gates is that man. Bill Gates represents Adam. He represents Adam of 6,666 years ago. That 666, that creation of Adam, 4004 BC. Who is Adam? You got a lot of these reverends running around, we the children of Adam. You got a lot of Arabs running around, we the children of Adam. No, I'm not no child of Adam. I am from the original peoples of the planet Earth, the pre-Adamite peoples of the planet Earth. Pre-Adamite peoples of the planet Earth. Those who was and those who are and those who forever will be. The Nubian peoples of the planet Earth. But Adam came in as the new man. And if you could look at the Old Testament, there was always a war of the biblical Hebrews, the biblical Israel. See, there's a difference between the biblical Israel and the historical Israel. The biblical Israel, when you read in the Old Testament, it said, and the Lord God said, slay the Canaanites, take their land, slay all the men, but keep the women to yourself. Keep all the young tenderonies to yourself. I put the tenderonies part in there. But it's always an invasion spirit. The Lord says, smite the Chaldeans. The Lord says, smite the Hittites. The Lord said to Israel, smite them, smite this. Hold up, dang. That sounds like a bloodthirsty God said, smite all these ancient nations. They was living peaceful, temples and civilizations and kingdoms, and all of a sudden, here comes these people. So the Lord said to smite them and take their land from them. Don't that sound familiar? Don't that sound like something that was done to the Native Americans? Whose God told them to smite the Native Americans? Whose God said to smite the Tasmanian peoples? But see, if you look at the story of the Old Testament of the biblical Israel, that was representing the Aryan invasion. The Aryan invasion that was coming out the Caucasus Mountains and that was coming to the densely Nubian, Cushite, black populations of what is now called the Middle East. And these invaders came in and it was making war with the peaceful peoples of those lands. And they came into India with the black Dravidians and was warring and conquering and stuff. The historical Israel has nothing to do with the biblical Israel. The historical Israel is Isis Ra'el, represents the federation, the united federation of the black Canaanites, of the black Chaldeans, of the black Sumerians, of the black KEMETIC peoples, of the black Hittite peoples. They was the original United Nations. And they was connecting with the black Olmecs over in America and the black Shang dynasty in China. But the biblical Israel were the Aryan invaders. So the God that the Aryan invaders was following was Set. Y'all said, who that? Y'all don't know who Set is? Here we go. I'm going to show you. This is who they was following. This is the one who said, slay the Canaanites. Slay all them. This is who they was following. This is the God that they was following. So the Adamites, the people of Adam, whose origins is in the Aegean Sea, whose eugenicist father, their eugenicist father was a man named Yaqub, black man, Yaqub, who the ancient Kemetic world called Imhotep. A lot of people don't connect those two names together. They don't connect those two names together. That the person everybody know is Imhotep is where the Nation of Islam got the concept of Yaqub from. There go Yaqub, known also as Imhotep. That's a hard pill to swallow, ain't it? He's the one who started to do the eugenics experiment, and they gave him the Aegean Sea to do that in. So he was the one who first, eugenics is basically selective breeding. So selective breeding is how you can basically go into the DNA of a person and say, okay, this person was a good athlete. I want to keep these qualities. But this person also was book smart. I want to keep this quality. But this person liked to eat a lot. I don't want to keep those qualities of eating a lot because there may be obesity. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to add this discipline part in from this other gene right here. And then we're going to do like this. And that's what they're doing with your DNA. But it started with Yaqub. When he got ready to do the grafting, he went into the brown germ and he took the brown germ and basically he went in that cycle where it went from black to brown to yellow to white. But he didn't live to see the total completion of his project. He saw the visualization in his mind because his God was Ptah, so he was about visualizing things. That's who his God was. Ptah. So he saw the visualization of a new people, of what the scripture would be called Adam. But he never saw the physical because it was 600 years later when that project finally came about. But if you look in the Old Testament, it says, "Let us make man." Let us. Now, Reverend Chickenfoot would tell you that meant God, the Holy Ghost, and Jesus. Jesus, who never was born, was not even born yet, and the Holy Ghost, who is really the divine mother. But they made a ghost out of the goddess. They made a ghost out of the black woman's divinity because they wanted to hide the female. It was this has been a totally anti-black and anti-female society for the past 500 years. And women have been made only to be objects of sexual gratification in this society. But going back to that, Adam, let us make man, let us. You go into the original, you go into the older Bibles. Go get a Bible that's 100 years old. You're going to see it mention gods, 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 gods. Gods. So the gods said, let us make man, which represents the 59,999 followers of Yaqub or Imhotep. This is how the Cretan civilization was established. The civilization of Crete. Aegean Sea. Look up the Aegean Sea. Man, he mixing stuff with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. No, I ain't mixing nothing. The Nubian Sufis, we was teaching this before there was a Nation of Islam, before there was America. These teachings, we was been teaching these teachings. We was teaching these teachings, and we had to teach them underground because the Orthodox Muslim world was persecuting Sufis, was murdering Sufis for what we was teaching, because they was trying to line up with the Adamite world. This the AGNC right here. This is the beginning of Adam. Let us make man. 59,999 scientists, followers of Yaqub / Imhotep. Let us make man. Let us make man. Holy Quran says, basically, Imhotep / Yaqub is speaking as Allah. I'm going to create a man. You know, so I'm going to create a man and put over the earth. I'm going to create a man. He said, and then one of the angels was in disagreement, like, you're going to create someone that's going to cause mischief and bloodshed? And we glorify your name? So not everybody was in harmony with this creation. Not everybody was in harmony with the creation of Adam. Not all of the pre-Adamite peoples of the planet Earth was in harmony with Adam being created. Nobody, and everybody was in harmony. I'm trying to remember that name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, now some say, man, that's now a lot of y'all been brainwashed into thinking that the Egyptians were white, when the real Egyptians were black. The original Egyptians was black. So Imhotep, the creator of the Adamites, were basically black Egyptian. But this is what they don't want to show you the truth. This is how Adam looked like. This is how Adam looked like. There go Adam right there. See what happened? They'll keep trying to come and take over. But since we were not asleep at the time, we had all of our Heka powers of telekinesis, telepathy. We was able to transform, use the power of Kepler to transform. You know what I'm saying? We was able to cause thunderstorms, blizzards. Our mental powers were supreme. We was God because we had our powers in active. So the Adamites kept trying to take over, kept trying to keep coming into Kemet, and we'll whoop them. So they would go into India, and they was able to do some. They was able to throw India off. So they was able to go into go there into India with the people that was worshiping Shiva and Parvati, and they was able to go in there, and they was warned. So the KEMETIC people, so there wouldn't be any misunderstanding. So there wouldn't be any misunderstanding of who's who. We let it be known who's who. So there won't be no misunderstanding. This is us, and we also got different shades right there. And these are the new type of people. These are more like, and people understand where the Arabs come from. The Arabs are basically the children of black and white tribes of ancient times. You know what I'm saying? A original mixed race. But no matter what, when you get to what would later become Caucasian, there we go. So there won't be no misunderstanding. But yet when we watched the 10 Commandments movie that came out in the 1950s, and my dad had us watching it, they showed Moses supposed to have been an Egyptian, or a white man is Moses. So right here, this is showing you the beginning of, or the ancient depictions of those who's running everything today. The ancient depictions of all the Joe Bidens, ancient depiction of your Bill Gates, ancient depictions of them. You know what I'm saying? Who had it in their mind, and the Dr. Fauci, Y'all saying, even going back to the Hitlers, your ancient depictions of those who were later, whether they good guys, seen as good guys in this society or bad guys. It's showing you the ancient depictions of the white man before he came into power, before the white man came into power as we know it.